This week's games are really hard to pick. But I bet the Lions still lose in the bye week. Okay. So, week 6. These games, I'll tell you what, they were really, really hard to pick. Kind of like last week. So last week, I went 9-7. Actually, not bad. It wasn't too bad. I would have went 10-6 had I not thought that the Raiders were going to upset the Chiefs. Unfortunately, they lost by 1 point. Anyway, we move forward here, and I'm going to move forward to Thursday night. Probably going to be just as bad as last Thursday night's. We have the Chicago Bears going up against the Washington Commanders. Wow. Maybe we'll see a touchdown in this one. Alright, joking aside, Bears last week put up a pretty good fight against the Vikings. Actually had the lead late in the fourth quarter. Lost it though. Commanders put up a fight against the Tennessee Titans. I don't know how, but they did end up also losing that game. It's just a team of which I think is worse. And I think the Commanders are just a little bit worse, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bears to win this game. The Bears. Next up, we have the Ravens going up against the Giants. The stunning Giants did the unthinkable in London, knocking off the Green Bay Packers. Now, while I found that very funny, I did not pick them to win that game. However, I did pick the Ravens to beat their AFC division rivals, Bengals, which they did by 2 points, but they beat them. So, who am I going to pick for this one? I am actually going to pick the Ravens. I don't think the Giants are that great, actually. They did manage to beat the Packers, but I don't think that the Packers are very good this year either. So, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Ravens to win that game. Oh, man. Colts, can you not get shut out this time? We have Colts against the Jaguars. Last time they faced off, earlier this year actually, I believe it was week 1, I was stunned. I was shocked. The Colts got annihilated, scoring 0. This week, I don't think they're going to do much better. It is a home game. However, the Jaguars seem to be kind of looking a little bit better. Yes, they lost against the Texans, but I just think the Colts are just terrible. Colts are absolutely terrible. I mean, that Thursday night game was terrible. Next up, we have the Patriots going up against the Browns. Patriots shut out the Lions. Will they do it to another team that went 0-16? I think they will. Patriots, I'll admit, looked like they knew what football was, and the Lions did not. The Browns, I don't think are much better than the Lions. In fact, they lost also last week. 2 points, but it's still a loss. And it was against the Chargers, and it was a home game for them, so it's kind of weird that they lost that one. Got another home game here today. I feel like they're going to lose again to the Patriots, though. Oh man, this is a battle of actually shocking teams. One, shocking that they are pretty good. The other, shocking that they are doing so bad. The Saints are doing a lot better than I think people thought they would do, including myself. I did not think that they would be in contention for a playoff, but they're kind of hanging in there. Bengals, wow. I'm not sure what's going on, what kind of water you're giving your players, but you need to stop it. Bengals lost last week, like I said, to the Ravens, while the Saints went on to beat the Seahawks, who also beat the Lions. Never mind. Uh, Saints scoring 39 points in the win, and it was a home game for them, and I think that is a big deal for them. I think they do play much better at home. Unfortunately, I am going to pick the Bengals because I think reality will soon set into this crazy season we've been having. I'm going to go ahead and pick the Bengals, though. Oh, man. This one is rough. The Buccaneers going against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers did about as well as the Lions did, except they actually scored a field goal. So, they had that going for them. The Bills ended up putting up 38 points against the Steelers last week, which was insane. Steelers don't seem to really have an offense, a defense, or special teams. They're just really, really bad this year, and hopefully will be able to progress for next year and getting an early draft pick, sort of like the Lions. Now, Buccaneers, kind of a odd game, I'll admit. 21-15 was their final. They ended up winning that game, but it was also against the Falcons. Yeah, the Falcons just don't do good against Brady. They really don't. So, this one's interesting. I'm not sure which wide receivers Tom Brady is going to have. It's kind of a mess right now for Brady. Not only in his personal life, but in his professional life with, not having good players around him. However, I do think the Buccaneers are going to win this game. The Steelers just are not good. Will be another top 10 draft pick team for this upcoming draft. Next up, we got the 49ers going against, we just talked about them, the Atlanta Falcons. Like I said, the Falcons ended up losing to the Buccaneers. No real shock there, except if you believe this crazy season we are having. It kind of is a shock that the underdog team lost. 49ers, well, they killed the Panthers 37-15 last week. Honestly, not a shock for that one either. Panthers are really bad. I feel like the 49ers are indeed a playoff team, not because of their offense, but because their defense is really that good. This is kind of an easy pick for me, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the 49ers. Win that game. Will we see another New York team defeat the Green Bay Packers? No. No, we won't. The Jets, while they did absolutely demolish the Dolphins, 40 points, they put up, the Dolphins kind of unfortunately got hit with the injury bug. Both Teddy Bridgewater and Tua Tagovailoa both went down with concussions, and it's just chaos right now in Miami, who look to be a front runner for a not only postseason but a Super Bowl potential team. Kind of sad to see what has happened to them. Meanwhile, we already talked about this, but it's so funny. I'll say it twice. The Green Bay Packers lost to the New York Giants in London. My God. Green Bay's offense in the second half they were like a light switch they just completely turned off. Someone unplugged their controller. They raged quit. It was crazy. Uh, Barkley kind of just ran completely over the Green Bay defense. Uh, their Wildcat formation, I know, was really big for the Green Bay Packers. I'm not sure if the Jets do that. I don't watch the Jets very much, I'm going to be honest. But they might want to consider doing that because Green Bay had no answer for it. I am going to pick Green Bay, though. I will not mind if that's an upset, though. Not many games this week, but we are still on the 1 p.m. games, and we are going to go with the Vikings, and as I said, the injury-bugged Dolphins. Yeah, this one's kind of upsetting me because I don't think there's any chance the Dolphins win this game. I don't know who their quarterback is, but the poor dude's going to be swallowed alive by the Vikings. Now, it's not in Minnesota, which is good. I hate hearing that horn. Please get rid of that. But I just don't think that Miami is capable of beating a team with a third string now quarterback. So give me the Vikings to win that one. Now we head into our later games. There's only 3 later games. I'm talking about 4 p.m. obviously. I'm not talking about the late game. We'll get into that one later. Probably the matchup of the Sunday football. Or I guess even this week, to be honest. But we're not talking about that game yet. We're going to talk about the Rams going up against the Panthers. Not Packers. Panthers. And they better be lucky that it's the Panthers and not the Packers, because the Rams are going to win this game because they're going against the Panthers. Panthers do not look great. Honestly, one of the worst teams in the NFL. A little shocked by that. I honestly thought Baker Mayfield, though not up to the level that a lot of people did put him at, I thought he was much better than what he is playing now. Panthers kind of just suck. Rams, however, also kind of in a what they call Super Bowl high, I guess. They're like lagging this season. They still have the hype from the last year's Super Bowl, and it's affecting them this season, I think. And it is very common for NFL teams to win the Super Bowl and then not even make the playoffs next year. I don't think that's going to happen to the Rams this year, but they're certainly working their best to try to have that happen. I am going to pick the Rams, though, to win this game. Panthers, like I said, just aren't that great. Moving on, we have the Cardinals going up against the Seahawks. Now, the Cardinals, kind of a rough break last week, almost tied with the best team in the NFL stat-wise. Eagles missed the kick, though. Didn't send it into overtime, and the Eagles ended up winning by 3. Seahawks, they had a interesting game. Going up against the Saints, lost 39-32, over 70 points scored in that game. That is really, really crazy. And it's not the first time that that's happened, because last week, remember, or not last week, but the week before the last week, they went up against the Lions, and that game was a very high-scoring game also. I think Seattle's offense is a lot better than their defense, and when they go up against a team that has a good defense, they struggle. But when they go up against a team that is, kind of struggling with their defense, they play really well. That's kind of what they have here, is they're going up against a defense that isn't playing very well. I think the Seahawks are going to absolutely crush the Cardinals this week. Give me the Seahawks to win that game. Next, we have one of the two greatest matchups, and they're putting them both on a little bit later than all the other games. We have the Bills against the Chiefs. Now, Chiefs won a very, very close game against the Raiders, and I almost called that the Raiders were going to beat them. It was just this feeling I had that the Raiders had a good chance to actually take down the Chiefs. Unfortunately, things didn't go my way nor the Raiders' way. Chiefs ended up getting a victory by 1 point. Still a victory, though. And it's not only just a victory, it's a division rivalry victory. Congratulations to the Chiefs on that one. Whereas the Bills absolutely demolished the Steelers, as we said earlier. This one is so hard to pick because it is honestly a flip of the coin. I could see either team coming out with a victory. I just have to go with the team which I think has a better defense because obviously they always say it, defense wins championships, even in this crooked offense heavy league. With that being said, I will be going with the Bills to win this game. I feel like the Chiefs are kind of like, oh my gosh, how did we almost lose to the Raiders? I get that they're a division team, but we should beat them on a regular basis. Bills did what they were supposed to do and cleaned up the Steelers. Not even close. I think the Bills are just a little bit better of a team than the Chiefs, so give me the Bills in that one. Oh boy, here we go. Sunday night football, prime time. Cowboys, Eagles. Now, this one I did not pick with my head. And I'm going to explain my actions in a second because those who know me know that I am an Eagles fan. I'm also a Lions fan. I'm a Lions fan first, but my second team, because the Lions aren't that really good, is the Eagles. I did not pick the Eagles to win this game. Now, before you freak out at me, let me explain my process. Now, if I pick the Eagles to win this game, and by some fluke accident, the Cowboys win the game, I'm depressed that the Eagles lost, and I'm depressed that I didn't get the pick correct. But if the Eagles lose and I pick the Cowboys, I'm still depressed the Eagles lost, but I'm also a little happy that I picked the Cowboys to win the game. That being said, I am going to pick the Cowboys. I'm hoping prime time is mean to them, though. And finally, Monday Night Football. For some reason, we're putting the Broncos on primetime again. I mean, will they score a touchdown this game? I don't know. I'm going to be honest, the Chargers defense is a lot better than the Colts defense. I don't know what Russell Wilson is cooking up in there, but you might want to check the smoke. I don't think that's smoke from the food that he's cooking. I think that's smoke from a little bit of, Mile High Club, you know what I mean? I'm going to pick the Chargers to win that game, though. Those are my picks. Thank you for stopping by. Like, share, and subscribe. All that fun stuff. Check out my Twitch. I'll be streaming hopefully a lot more now that I know that the Lions aren't any good. But anyway, I'll catch you next week. Hopefully I do a little bit better than last week. Take care.